So if you're there and listening, hope you caught the fact that the IRA was signed just a little while ago. It's gonna be fucking lovely. Oh yeah. I'm just gonna pull up a seat right here. Hang out. Me and the old Liberty tree. Yeah, I watched, screen recorded that whole speech. Oh man, what a beaut. What a beautiful speech. So full of it. Oh, I'm getting poked in the ass by this grass. It's not very comfortable. Not very comfortable at all. It's because there's no more shade, I can sit on the rail. You can do a little trimming on this fucking tree. Pokies in the eye. That sucks. Need a little carb adjust. Just pick away at it. I don't know. Just waiting for people to talk, fucking chit chat. I mean, been waiting for a long time, bro. Waiting for a long time. So yeah, just here. Family left to go do some shit. Want them involved. So I am doing this while they're away. But, you know, it's not like they can't see it coming, you know what I mean? Just people, I don't know. Can't make them, that's for sure. We can't make people. You know, you're just gonna have to learn the fucking hard way, right? Sucks learning the hard way. We don't have to. So the IRA thing got signed today. Evidently, the 30-day cool-off period ended at midnight. I wasn't aware of that. I thought it was coming soon. The Billy. So yeah, kind of funny how some of these things are coming together. The timing of it is quite peculiar, some might say. But, you know, fuck, man. How much money, generations have been ruined for how much money has been given to the government and to this whole Ukraine war and, you know, the healthcare shit with the pandemic and all that stimulus and everything. So the money thing's a moot point now. When really we should be focused on the food with our farmers. You know, we have farmers all over the world fucking standing up and speaking out about what's going on because they want us to eat bugs. We're the swamp. Swamp creatures eat bugs. They told us they were going to drain the swamp, and that's why they want us eating bugs. So my understanding, not only for housing, but in the Netherlands, they want that land to create automated food hubs. That's what one lady at the protest over there was interviewed as saying. And I see that a lot more than them making housing. You're still going to have a food production issue, right? Part of this IRA bill is to reduce emissions and shit by 40%. So is that 40% the same thing that the farmers are dealing with? Fertilizers, CO2, diesel. You imagine, you thought farmers were rich. No, farmers are not rich. Farmers are massive in debt with the machines and the operations to run the farms. And now you want to start making things one services, watering, whatever it is, trading, laborers, whatnot. When you start forcing these farmers to go electric with their shit, they're going to be shut down. There's no way. And what's funny is, how are you going to charge these things? You're either going to have to use another type of motor, which would have to be gas to spin an alternator, or you're going to have to charge off of a grid or solar panels. Well, if you're charging off the grid, you're still running those greenhouses. I mean, I can sit there and I watch this refinery over here and make their own cloud system. So that's a huge thing. The big part of that bill that got passed in the IRA is going towards climate change. Well, let's talk about climate change. Let's get fucking real for a minute, and let's talk about the weather modifications that is in U.S. Title Code. Let's talk about how now virtually rainwater all around the world is unsafe to drink, so they say. We can only deny this shit for so long. When you drive in a car 100 miles an hour and there's a big turn or there's a cliff coming, you got to slow down. No. Let me live chat here. Sorry. It is sabotage at this point. It's just flat out sabotage, and they've used coercion techniques and manipulation, not only with thought but speak. And the tactics. I mean, it's to me the best explanation I've ever found is that Robert J. Lifton, A Criteria to Thought Reform, because it describes, in a nutshell, every step that's been taken. Exactly. Where is our military? Where are the people that see this, that realize that high treason is going on? Genocide has happened. A total disregard for the Constitution and life and liberty, pursuit of happiness. That has been so long disregarded, and those that know it and see it and know that there's treason, I hope they realize that it is actually treasonous for them to withhold that and not speak out against it. I hope they understand that. Yep, definitely war crimes. And we've already started seeing that shit go down like it ain't no big deal with the shit in Russia. And as far as I'm concerned, that whole Russian thing, that's That's, man, yeah. So are our schools. But we look at it, and this has been on my mind a lot the last day. Not so much just the last day, but it's been on my mind a lot lately. We think about when the reality of the shit storm coming, okay? When it was announced to everybody, that was lockdowns. Okay? There'll be no normal. This is your new normal. Okay? We're all in this together. How many people just that flew right over their head? And if it did go in the house, it went right out the fucking window or the door because they were still open. Just a big old draft going right through. You had Mike Pompeo tell us it was a live exercise. You had a salesman selling you snake oil, who also says due process later. We went from let's lock ourselves down, support each other because it's the right thing to do, to complete fucking division and hatred and disdain and doxing and destroying people's lives. What happened to we're all in this together? And while all that stuff's kept building up, let's throw a whammy in there and let's start a fucking World War III. All out in your face World War III. Not that we haven't been in it for 20 some years. Okay, you just want to call battles by different names. I don't know. I think World War III kind of started with the whole 9/11 thing. I mean, what's to say? What's to say we even left World War II? You know what I mean? Maybe we're still in World War II. We never left. But you know, and yeah. I mean, it's hard to. It's really hard to talk to some people that, you know, they see it, but their side of the story is, I don't know how to say it, but it's diluted with sugar. You know, and they keep eating those spoonfuls of shit, of sugar, and they're not seeing the real picture. You know, a talk I had with the lady at the gardening thing, you know, she wanted to know if I wanted a receipt, and I said, no, I don't need people knowing what I'm doing. And of course the IRS thing got brought up, and then, you know, she's like, well, it hasn't been passed yet, you know, hopefully come November, you know, we can deal with it. So everything's already set in motion. They're not going to back down. It's going to get passed. Yeah. Yep. So really, technically, you know, we've been at war before this country's even been founded. We haven't stopped being at some sort of civil war, revolution. I mean, we're kind of really, if you think about it, the world's constant revolution and constant war. Because other people think they can control other people. Now, I'm not saying we don't have to abide by standards and certain people's house rules, but this world is my home. You can't give me certain house rules, all right? You might need certain house rules for those of you that take upon destroying things. Lincoln was a culmination, yeah. Yeah, and I try to stay away from all that political shit. You know, it's stuff that I see. It's right in front of our face that I think, you know, how can people not see it? You know, I mean, especially when they tell us. You know, and some shit, yeah, you got to dive in and do a little bit of hard research and deep thinking to be able to prove what it is that you're saying. This fucking screen off. To be able to prove what you're saying, but you know, I'm not gonna get people to stop here and fucking talk. One, because it's a liberty tree. Two, because I got a gun. And three, because there's no parking in city property. I'm really surprised this thing's still actually fucking sitting here. I'm waiting for it to be taken down and destroyed and busted and left right here. You know, it wouldn't surprise me if the city come and take it and just get rid of it. But, you know, if I find it busted up, then we got some really big shithead commie motherfuckers in this neighborhood. And I know we got some commies around here. It's pretty simple. And I use that commie term lightly because they're commercialized. It's the new commie. Yeah, because some of that shit's kind of boring when you start talking about it. You know, there's what's the newest update, what's the new meme. You know, I'm guilty of it. You know, it's not something that I really care to go back and relearn either. Not that it's not important, but each to their own, you know. I mean, it is good to have that understanding, but I think too, you know, it's good to have an understanding of your history, of your present, and of what could possibly be the future because of all that. But I think it's really more important for people to have an understanding of the world around them and how it works. You know what I mean? Like how to change a tire, how to change a light bulb, or replace a breaker in your fuse panel, or put in a new sink. You know, or plant a seed. Grow vegetables, you know, cook your own dinner. There's lots of things that I think people have been directed away from learning. Let me put it that way. And I don't think it would be hard for some of them to learn it. But we're not encouraged to be smart. Let's put it that way. We're encouraged to be dumb. We're encouraged to follow orders. We're encouraged to consume. And you know, right now with some of the stupid protests going on, and even the protests that went on, you know, they when you had the Summer of Love go on, of course, that was all an agenda to destroy history and further divide, bring racism back to the mainline. And you know, now with some of these strikes and shit, when you start getting into the farmer strikes, the trucker strikes, here pretty soon, the train strikes, you know, I wonder how much of that is encouraged. You know what I mean? To make people stand up and riot and further break down the also fragile supply chain. So, you know, now we have I heard a Walmart distribution thing in China shut down for 5 days or so to make sure that their citizens have power, electricity. I mean, here has been extremely humid, more than normal. At night, you can actually kind of see the humidity in the air when a car is driving over the hill. It's pretty crazy. And that's the geoengineering. That's the fucking spray coming down. That's the humidity from radiating the lakes and shit, evaporating the lakes, so they can get that shit in the air, direct it, and create massive fucking downpours and flood people out. What do you think happened in Kentucky? It wasn't natural. It's easy to tell it was going to happen. Not to that extreme, but that something bad was going to happen. Just by the weather that we had here. Because of the way the jet stream flows here. They don't like people warning, trying to tell others and shit. They keep you fucking, cult terminology, shadow banned. But they keep your voice silent. So I don't know at what point people are actually going to listen and talk amongst themselves enough to where they actually realize what the real truth behind a lot of this shit is. They burned down 25 convenience stores and 29 cars, I think it was, in the Tijuana area simultaneously. Coordinated attack from the cartel because they want their buddies released from detainment, right? And they vow to keep it going. You don't think that was allowed to happen? Do you know how devastating it is for them to burn down 25 convenience stores at one time? You think, how many of those convenience stores do you think are going to be rebuilt? Very few. Where are people going to go get their fuel and their drinks? Right? That's sabotage. That's a coordinated attack. That was allowed to happen. And now what do you have? You have the National Guard moving in. As I'm talking, they're moving in to Tijuana to take control of the situation. And unfortunately, instead of the citizens standing up and stopping it, the citizens have imposed a self-curfew, self-quarantine to let the police and the National Guard come in. They'll find their ways. And once they can squash the National Guard can squash the cartel thing down a little bit, what's going to happen? They're going to go off to grocery stores next? Then what's going to happen? We into the Uber Eats now with the brown boxes being delivered and dropped off in front of your house with your address and your names every day, every week. And when another virus comes out that's worse than what we've seen and what they're trying to fearmonger us with, what then? Are we going to have another emergency vaccine come out? Rushed again, but this time even the world's fastest, because we've perfected our technology of computer synthesizing. With the fires that burn and the funguses and molds and shit that were released, people are gonna have respiratory issues. And now we add the chemtrailing in and the shit mixed in the water with all of that smoke and haze and everything, you're gonna have more issues. Right. Tacos. I don't know. Yeah, food. food. It's gonna take people food. It's gonna take it costing too much to eat that your job's not worth going to. Because by the time you drive there and you drive back and you get your food and you pay your bills, you will have nothing. And we'll see how apeshit people go over this IRA, this Inflation Reduction Act. Who knows what's in that fucking bill? I went to look at it again today, and of course, they give you a very cute sugar fucking shit fed spoonful of an abstract of what's in each section. Not allocations or any of the other stuff. Could have spent time to look deeper, but yeah, I don't know. One of these days, maybe, just maybe. But there's too much infighting with shit, People assume you support this person or that person. Well, why do I have to support either one of them? Why can't I just support what's right and do what's right? But that's what they want. They want that left, right. They want that black, white. They want that rich, poor. The up, down, the in, the out. They want that mirrored world, that twisted up shit. And they're doing a bang up job of it. I mean, if you didn't watch Mr. Joe give his fucking blowhole speech today before signing the IRA, you should really watch it. It's quite entertaining, the smoke that is coming out his ears in regards to how great this administration has been. Yeah, it's just it's unbelievable. It's comedy. It's comedy gold. And these people cheer it on. How can you sit there as a fucking president and say we care about all of you, yada yada yada, when here not too long ago you were threatening us with death if we didn't go and get our fucking vaccine? We were gonna have a long, dark, miserable winter of death for not being vaxxed. Yeah. You cannot tell me that wasn't a death threat against your own people as a president. Because that's what that was. That was a fucking death threat. Yeah. I remember I was very mad when that was said. And if I remember correctly, he also leaned into the camera to say it too. To try to stress his authority and the importance of how we're going to die. Using fear to accomplish political agendas. That's terrorism. That's domestic terrorism. Yet here we are, this last week, talking about how, we can't do that. With the whole fucking raid Mar-a-Lago bullshit. Oh, you remember the Beach Boy song? Yeah. Aruba, Jamaica. Go to Mar-a-Lago. Take you down to Guantanamo, because that's where you ought to go. Way down in Guantanamo. Yeah, it's bullshit, and people that want to praise don't realize how much they've been fucking trumped. It's so sad. It really is. 6 foot apart or 6 foot under. I always say we've been trumped. We're just biding our time while they're putting it to us. No, you can't. You. Let me, before this comment fades so fast on these things. No, and you know, you sold a salesman to the people of the United States who used and twisted and sold a fake freedom to people. And these people are still eating it up. They're being played and manipulated by their emotions. But they don't realize, hey, Mr. Operation Warp Speed here said, you know, take the guns first, due process later. It's disgusting. It's very childish and very self-centered. That they think one man is going to save. Did they not pay attention and look into his hotel dealings? You know I talked about it before with Vice doing their special on Trump and his foreign hotels, and how, you know, people from different countries would go to a certain country. They would hand over their passports and they would get room and board and work, and, you know, when they wanted to go home, they couldn't get their passports. They kept them. So now these people can't go home because they don't have a passport. They're stuck there working for shit fucking wages, living in shit conditions. And this is the guy that ran our United States that people thought was such a great businessman, that promoted and still pushes the vaccine agenda with Operation Warp Speed. And wasn't there just a thing about the Bruin thing again today? I think that has to do with the bump stock ban thing, right? Some bullshit. You know, I guess people really, we're never going to, yeah, he's a salesman, businessman, con man, whatever terminology we can throw at it. He's shady. I mean, listen to the way some of these politicians talk and the way they move their hands around and how they finish their sentences. Obama was really bad at it. He was fucking terrible with the way he would finish off a sentence. Every single time it was almost the same vocal up and down ending of it. You know, here police drive by, he didn't even notice I'm over here. If he did, he don't care. What's he gonna do? City property doesn't say no trespassing. There's no, I don't DeSantis, I don't care really for DeSantis. He's doing a good job of stirring the pot. But there is no presidential candidate. There shouldn't be a presidential candidate, in my opinion, because we've seen how that whole process works, and how corrupt it has been. As far as how we fix this shit, fuck, who knows? This could take years and years and years and years to fix and straighten out. But we need to make sure that people have food, have access to food, that they have access to medical care and water, clean water, fucking shelter over their heads. We need to take care of each other. And at this point, I think we need to really look past the money. They've squandered all their fucking money, giving it away to shit. So what does it matter anymore with money? We don't need money to get things done. And so now what do we have here coming soon? Central Bank of Digital Currency being implemented starting coming when? What, like the 13th of December? you know how much that's going to affect people and put people out by implementing the digital currency and forcing people to move over to that? One of these days, if people want to make a difference, they're going to have to put the money on the back burner, literally, and forget about utilities and bills and all that shit, and do what needs to be done. The problem is that people, for one, of course, nobody has money, right? So how can you stock up and store shit and get ready and all that? Well, do what you can. Trades, whatever else. Find a way to prioritize some of the things that you need first, and do what you can to go after that shit. Yep, it's going to be when that central digital bank shit really starts kicking in. It'll be interesting. Really curious to see what's going to happen with the food shit over this fall and this winter. I'm hoping there's not, but we saw over the summer how some of these countries decided not to export their shit, stockpile it for themselves. I don't know what Kentucky all produces as far as food, but I'm sure some of their shit got ravaged. France burning up in their wine fields, their vineyards, and tap water being shut off. You look at what's going on in Lake Mead with the water and how many people that's going to affect. It's not trying to be negative Nancy shit. We have to be aware of what is going on. What are the possible bad things that can happen? Because if we're not mentally prepared for that shit, it doesn't matter if you have the physical stuff, because you might have a fucking mental breakdown a little bit and stress out and not know what to do and how to react. So, so I love the zombie movies. They're great mental preparation, not only for what you can expect to deal with, but how other people are going to react psychologically. And there's a lot of truth behind some of that zombie shit too. Everybody's infected before they die. How does that happen? Well, water around the world is considered tainted right now. How does that happen? Yeah, this is where you get in the part where you start losing people. Oh, you watch too many movies. You're a conspiracy nut. Blah, blah, blah. No, it's really easy to see some shit in front of your face if you pay attention. So, yeah, we're starting to move towards the second half of the afternoon. And I'm going to start getting shade here soon, so I'm going to do some more gardening, because this time of the day is a deadly time. You get so hot and fucking sweaty that you can't deal with it. So, yeah. So yeah, that's funny. The guy honked once on the way, didn't honk on the way back. Could be one of his employees. But yeah, I know that guy, and so he's good shit. But yeah, here I am. I just had to talk a little bit about that IRA shit, and ramble a little bit, because I don't know. Again, we're not calling for violence. I don't want to have to be defensive against neighbors, family, community, strangers. But if we don't start talking about the shit that really matters, with the food and the water and housing and care and all that, then we're going to have a really tough time getting out of this fucking hole that has been dug. you know, 80 billion going to the IRS in 10 years time. 8 billion a year. Half of that they say is going to go to employees. So $4 billion a year just for salary for the IRS. And $4 billion for who knows what else. Thank you, man. Yeah, I did quite a bit of work in the last couple of days or so. Work got called off today by the boss. So I tried to be productive and then get caught up watching on live streams. And then it gets hot and shit. But yeah, I've been doing fall planting with carrots, beans, peas, and dill. So hopefully, well, my main goal with this is just to get the seed production out of it. That way, come next year, you know, hopefully I've got enough food stocked up for the family to get through winter if we didn't have the opportunity to go anywhere or do anything. So yeah, let me get this. So I did pulled up my little chalet onions and put them all in here because they weren't growing where they were at. And then I put them in my pots. I don't know if I showed that yesterday. I think I did. But yeah, I think I showed this too yesterday. No, I'm not going to find out who hit that. No. Anyways, as far as that mirror went, fuck man, I think they hit it with a baseball bat driving by pretty fast. Because that thing went a long ways. Either that or it went up on their hood and then when they went to stop, it came rolling off. But yeah, so I had a bunch of shit in there. I think that was yesterday. Showed, and then I went through here, did that. And these fucking all grass roots. That shit's terrible. I don't know what kind of grass it's called, but they just fucking things, man. It's big, huge clumps. These are nasty. If you let them go, they just completely ruin your soil. So yeah, I spent all morning tearing that shit up, sweating my nuts off. I'm sweating just walking over here. Yeah, it's too hot to be here right now. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully here in sorry, buddy. Hopefully here in a few days I'll get some sprouts going. The top dressing. I picked all that shit up. So the actual like mirror frame was still connected to the car. The glass piece, the flat piece that the glass is glued to, that was laying next to the car. And then the green cover was a little ways up the road, and then that white cover, which the green cover actually slides over, was way up by the stop sign. So yeah, they were going fast. Whether they hit it with a baseball bat or they hit it with their car, they were going fast. And if they hit it with a car, they got very lucky that they didn't clip my car and really hurt themselves. But yeah, it's starting to get. I want to see how these things are doing. I haven't looked at them today. Ooh, that one seems way happy. So they're these where they start curling up like that, trying to get as much sun as they can. Yeah, they're pretty happy. That one just took a shit. They didn't like it. Probably too much water in the roots. So yeah, I'm gonna pull that out real quick. So yeah, that's probably, I imagine that's what happened with this one. It didn't like the being in water for that long. I'll probably have to pull those out since they're so deep. These ones aren't too bad. They're about halfway deep, Um, you gotta get that water up there too high for a while, and they wind up suffocating and drowning, basically is what happens. So yeah, I was kind of wondering if something was gonna go wrong. I'm kind of surprised that this one did it. I just said, fuck off. Put it in the shade. And we'll see. I took a cutting from it because the bottom one broke. I got it in a glass jar, but yeah, it was fine yesterday. Just today we did that. So I don't know if that's actually from the water. I'm assuming it is, but the other one hasn't done it. It's a different brand or different type. So yeah, I don't know. Probably just too deep my thoughts. But, anyway, so yeah, that's my guess. Just sat in the water for too long, so I don't know. Give it a couple of days, it should rebound. Might have to move it here again. So yeah, I'm just gonna put it over here in the shade. So I'm going to move it again in an hour. I'll come back and see how it does later, but I'm not worried about it. It'll be all right. Come Monday. Not LA haze. So yeah, I don't want to lose that plant by no fucking means. It's pretty big right now. Here's the cutting that I take from it. It's doing pretty well. So yeah, I don't know. It can be a lot of work setting everything up and getting it going, but once you do, it's definitely rewarding. It's just when you gotta take it in spurts because it gets so fucking hot. Oh yeah, try to. It's I don't know. I don't want to say I don't get support, and not that help hasn't been offered to take care of things, but when it's somewhat of a knowledge thing and a care thing, you wind up doing a lot. You know what I mean? And nothing against people that are around you, but I guess think of it this way. You get all these people that tell you, oh, you're fucking crazy, there's no food shortage, there's none of this shit going on, right? So now when food shortages happen and they ain't got a damn thing, what's going to happen? They're going to try to take yours? Or did you plan for it and try to get enough shit for them too because you knew it was going to happen? And you wanted to make sure that they were taken care of too. So when you get to that point of, preparing and stocking and storing up on material items and mental knowledge, then it becomes a lot. It becomes daunting, sometimes very tiring. And some days your patience is very, very fucking thin with people because there's such a big bubble of denial going on right now that needs to be popped. And yeah, well, I don't know what else to say about it all. Right now, I'm kind of melancholish with the whole IRA thing being signed and all the stupid shit just like accelerating right now. So yeah, I just wanted to take a walk over to Liberty Tree. If I'll come back and show some shit, wrap it up. Maybe get lost in some live streams and fucking do a little more gardening later when it cools down some more. I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna end this live stream. Thank you, everybody that showed up. Yeah, it's nice to know others listen and care and have the same viewpoint. can even share other viewpoints that we don't see sometimes. So it's always good to talk and keep the lingua open. And even if we do disagree, to give each other shit. The biggest thing at the end of the day is to realize that, hey, I know things you don't, you know things I don't. It doesn't make either one of us a dummy or a jackass, anything like that, man. You can't know everything in the world, so this is why we have to come together and talk and share our knowledge. So hopefully maybe we can find a way to get out of this without too much fucking damage. Seconds do matter. Yeah. Yeah, you give them an inch and they take a mile. Alright, DG. Yeah, that's DG. That's the garage gato. She was a stray that took me about a year and a half or so to get her comfortable enough to come around. She came around on Mother's Day out of all fucking days and has never left. She goes and visits neighbors and shit, but we tried to have her in the house, but she wanted to mark everything. She's a sweetheart, though. So yeah, that's my GG. Alright, well thank you all. I'm clocking this bitch out. Have a good night.